I love it. She sat there and said no. What did she say? She said, if I'm not your cup of tea, then don't be drinking it. Like, what is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rehinged Diaries podcast with your host, Ali Karza. I know it's been a while since I made an episode, but I kid you not, you guys, I'm trying to get my energy back because it was 40 minutes of me even trying to prep for this episode, and anything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. First of all, my bangs were blowing my shit. They look okay. I feel like they look right now as good as they possibly can for the people that are visually tuning into this episode. Just know that they're okay now. Then there was my bangs, and I'm like, okay, now that they're slaying or whatever, now it's, to prep up everything. You guys know that I usually just like hop on my bed and film my previous episodes, but I'm like, we're gonna be talking about Love Island. For those who looked at the title, we're gonna be talking about Love Island. I don't want someone to click on this episode and be like, why is this girl talking about Love Island? She looks crazy. I did my hair not for this episode, like I just wanted my hair done so I can go about the next couple days. I'm jealous of people that can go the whole week with their hair slaying. My hair gets greasy, then I literally look like a mop, especially with this humidity. So there's that, and then like I really wanted to get a tripod, but I just remembered that I left my tripod at my mom's shed where a lot of my items are at. So I'm like, damn, like what I have now, it's just like, it was not good. It was not good. I was literally crashing out. I was about to start crying. Like, y'all ever reach like the level of crashing out that you just start crying? That was about to be me. So I was like, I need to breathe, because I really do want this to be a fun episode for the people that have been tuning in on Love Island, because we have a lot to talk about. It might be controversial. Some people might not even agree with what I'm saying. And that's what I love. I love those conversations where it just spices up conversation, or people that disagree, because I love healthily disagreeing with people. So yeah, this episode, we're going to be talking about how authenticity always wins. And it's going to be specifically on Amaya and Huda. Because the way that they started off in the season, a lot of people thought that they were insufferable and like unlikable. And now they're the most highest rated people on the island, because authenticity always wins. Whereas there was that girl Sierra, where she was reaching her peak on that island, literally the heart rate challenge. Everybody was wanting to kiss her because, I don't know if she swings both ways, but she definitely wasn't shy on kissing a girl. So everybody wanted to kiss her. Everybody loved her. Her iconic hairstyle, everyone was recreating it on my TikTok For You page. She was on a peak, and then she got kicked off the island because of her racist tweets. But I feel like even racist tweets, was it tweets? I think it was posts. Yeah, I think it was posts or tweets, whatever. Racist shit resurfaced on social media. And I feel like it was that on top of her mean girl behavior on the island. But then most of all, I really do feel like the thing that really was the icing on the cake for her cancellation was how inauthentic she was moving about on the island. So this is where I really feel like authenticity will always win. It doesn't matter how strategic you are and how you really play your cards right to be on social media or to be perceived, but then when you're truly authentically yourself, it's gonna ruffle feathers for a while until people start really resonating. And that's why I feel like that's gonna be the message for today's episode, is how authenticity will always win. So let's talk about my girl Amaya, okay? Amaya, oh my god, in the beginning I did find her a little bit insufferable, okay? Only because when it came to her connection with Ace, I was just like, at first I didn't understand him. I didn't understand his side. I just didn't like the way she went about it, her little crash outs on Ace. When they first was coupled up, Ace was basically like, whoa, because she's Latina. And she's, us Latinas, we are affectionate, okay? And she would always call him babe. And yes, they did just couple up. One could argue that's a bit weird, but she's not saying, babe, I love you. Like, he really was treating it like as if she was saying, I love you when she said the word babe. Okay, I do like how he really did communicate, okay? Because in this generation, people do not like to communicate, and that's my number one ick. But when it came to Ace, he really did communicate like, hey, when you say baby, really does make me uncomfortable. Like, I feel like you're coming off strong. And then she would, feel some type of way. Like, she really was being real. And I like the way that she went about it, in the way where she's like, I feel like you're trying to change how I really am myself. But then like her little crash outs, a part of me feels like her crash outs were justified, because that's when he started moving inauthentically, where he should have been more open to her and say, you know what, like, this is not gonna work. But then at the same time, I really do feel like he tried and they were just not compatible. But the way that she was crashing out, and like when they were talking, she would not let him speak. That's when I was like, I was like, girl, like, if you guys are just not compatible and he doesn't appreciate you calling him babe, then it's just not gonna work. Because if that's truly who you are and you really do call him babe, I'm Latina, so I get it. I be loving calling people baby, my love, mi amor. Like, I get it. I get it. Like, I really was getting annoyed when he was treating it like it was a slur. Like, he was treating it like she said, I love you, babe. Can we have 5 children? She said, babe. Pipe down, okay? It was just so funny to me. As she went on the island, it's like she's very emotional. She cries a lot. I'm pretty sure she's a water sign, okay? Someone tell me what's her sign specific. She's a Scorpio, right? I think it's clicking in my head. I think she's a Scorpio, but she definitely is a water sign because I'm a Cancer girl. So I feel for her like fully. I don't cry all the time, but I am sensitive, okay? Behind the scenes and I'm by myself, I do cry, but I don't cry in front of people. But I feel her. Like, I really do feel that when you feel everything intensely, like, she just cries a lot. Like, when she feels invalidated, like, she cries. And I get it from a man who's I don't want to say emotionally mature, but I low-key want to. But if they're just not used to a woman like that, I can understand that they're like, because there'll be times where it can be like the tiniest disagreement or she feels like invalidated slightly, like she'll just start to cry. And that connection that she had with Zach, well, first of all, Austin was so fake because it was crazy because she ended her connection with Ace and that's when she started messing with Austin. Austin was trying to give her the, oh, I love how you are. Like, I love how you're so comfortable with being yourself. Then out of nowhere, he starts saying the same shit like Ace. It just feels too strong. It just feels so strong. And it was even more annoying because he couldn't have said it to her. He was saying it to his homies. And I'm like, he had all this smoke when it came to the car challenge, saying that Ace, he'd be running a posse, but you are no better because you were running to your homeboys about your feelings about Amaya instead of going to her first. So that really ruffled my feathers, okay? When it came to the car challenge, like, especially when she started messing with Zach was another one. You could tell he was there to just be on the island, okay? It was not giving like he was putting any effort whatsoever towards Amaya, and that made her emotional, where she's like, I really feel like you haven't been making efforts to have conversation with me. All you wanted was conversations with the boys. And my sister doesn't even watch Love Island. I mean, like, I love my sister so much because I could just talk to her about things. She'll be locked in as if she's watching it, yet she's not. So it's just so funny. I was telling her, yo, Zach, it's just so crazy how his first objective from coming from Casa Amor to like the villa, he was only trying to make friendship with the boys instead of the person he coupled up with, Amaya. And then my sister's like, is he gay? And I just started dying because I'm like, listen, I don't want to make any accusations, but a little sus, okay? Because why are you more focused on making friendships with the guys than with your girl? She called him out about that. He was just like, oh, I just want to. First, he got really sassy with her, since it takes 2, you got legs, you could walk. Ah! If that was me and he said that to me, I would have been like, bye-bye. Kiss the 100K goodbye because ain't nobody else on this island is going to want you, okay? Bye-bye. Like, that's, ugh. Like, his response and everything just said it all. Like, I really do feel like I don't want to hear people's conversations when it comes to editing on certain things because no. Like, the way that people handle conflict and the way that they speak about you in regards to the conflict really says how they feel about you. And then when it came to the car challenge and everyone was dogpiling on Amaya, being like, oh, you cry too much, you're too sensitive, you come off too strong onto people, no guy's gonna want that. And that was like kind of, I don't know if I'm putting words in Ace's mouth, but I really do feel like that's how the guys were basically saying, like, no guy's gonna want to deal with how intense you are. And then she starts crying, like really crying, because it was just mean. It really was mean. I was like, okay, like, damn, like, you can express how you as a man, you personally would not want to deal with that. And that's just something that you're not interested in. That is fine. But all these guys basically saying like you as a woman are not going to get anyone because of how sensitive and how authentically you are. Like, that's crazy. Like, that is actually crazy. And I love when Brian spoke up and said she's Latina. The Hispanic community, that's the way that we express, especially here's another thing too I wish he brought up, but of course, like, I bet he wasn't thinking about it. But one thing that's really common in the Hispanic community is when you greet someone, you kiss someone on the cheek. Like, we're just naturally affectionate people. I know, like, when it comes to like other cultures or whatever, even white people, like, I know they might find it weird when, like, if I were to greet someone that's Hispanic and I kiss them on the cheek to greet them, obviously if I have a partner that's different, but like, you know, some people might find that weird because you don't really just like see that a lot. When it comes to like white people, like, you wouldn't just see them going up to someone and just kissing them on the cheek. Whereas it's very common in Hispanic community because we're just naturally all so affectionate. Big hugs and everything. So I love how he defended her. He was like, well, her calling him calling everyone babe. That's just who she is. And it was kind of gross when Ace was like, you gotta meet a guy halfway. If he's telling you to stop being so emotional, you gotta meet him halfway. And then I love when Brian was like, you gotta meet her halfway. Why are you telling her to completely change herself, but you're not even trying to understand why she is the way that she is, trying to understand the culture of why she does that? Like, he ate with that. And that's when they ended up coupling. And I love how he's just been like, I don't know, people been very iffy about it. And I also, only way I feel iffy about it because he's a man. And men are proven to disappoint. Sorry. If you're a man watching this, I'm not talking about you. I love you. But like, sorry, your species tend to disappoint, okay? A part of me feels like, is Brian only doing all this because they're approaching the end of, you know, the show and he needs to lock in and like really, really lock in with someone? Because why didn't he show interest to begin with? But then he was with Angelina. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. So I don't know. Because I do feel 50-50 about him. I'm like, is he only being this loving because he knows, okay, now I know how she operates. She wants a man that's like X, Y, and Z. So let me be that, collect that 100K and, you know, win this thing. And then is it going to be, your behavior is going to completely change? Who knows? That's my only fear. But then if he's truly being authentically himself and like truly does feel a really deep connection for her, then yeah. I feel like that's why a lot of people are loving Amaya even more, because she did not alter her personality whatsoever. Even when all the guys are basically telling her to, saying you need to be less intense, you need to stop being yourself because it's not working and none of the guys are liking it. I love it. She sat there and said no. What did she say? She said, if I'm not your cup of tea, then don't be drinking it. Like, I loved that. And I really feel like that's when the world really started like shifting and really viewing Amaya like, oh my God, like she gotta win this money even if it's just her by herself. She needs to win this for herself because yes, like in this competition we're like, first of all, the show to begin with, to even get on Love Island, I feel like you gotta be this attractive, mega attractive person, and you gotta have this personality. Your personality has to be A1 all the time because the cameras are always rolling. You're barely sleeping that much. The fact that she just remained authentically herself, she's been mispronouncing words all the time, and I've been loving seeing those TikToks just go on my For You page because I am the queen of mispronouncing things. So like, I just relate to that. I'm like, girl, just like, I love when people just don't take themselves too seriously. Just really feel like people are loving her because she basically just taught a bunch of women standing on that podium when all these guys are basically saying you have to change yourself or else no man will ever want you. The fact that she stood 10 toes, not one toe missing, 10 toes, and basically said, I am not changing who I am. Accept me as I am or I'm out. Happily be out, because at least I remain true to who I am. And I feel like that really taught a beautiful message to girls that if, like, if guys are saying you gotta look like this or appear like this, then tell them to kick rocks, because then they'll be that guy in the corner and you're being authentically yourself and he's gonna be like, this is everything I've ever wanted and more. That is the beauty of being authentically yourself, is when you don't shift anything about yourself to please other people. You're gonna attract the people. You're gonna be an inspiration, because we live in a world where it's like you're rewarded for being inauthentic, whereas it's a lot harder now. Like it's a hard payoff when it comes to authenticity, because like what I just said, like all these girls were getting hated on in the beginning and then now they're being adored and loved because it's the way that they're not altering their personalities at all to cater to anyone. They're just being themselves, and there is a price you pay when you do become authentic. It's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but then if you stay true to yourself, there is a beautiful payoff in the end. So now talking about Huda. Huda, coulda, woulda. In the beginning, I found her completely insufferable. I found her completely insufferable only because I'm like, girl, this is on national like television and you have a child. But if you took those things out of the equation, I'm like, girl, I used to be you. Can anyone relate to that? I was Huda. I was Huda back when I was 23. That was probably the last time where I was like, that year I was crashing out over like people I was dating. Now I don't really feel like I crash out. I feel like I said that, and I feel like one of my episodes of me talking about I ended things with a girl and I was like crying and crashing out. But I didn't act crazy, okay? I just ended it and cried and vented to y'all because y'all are my besties, okay? But anywho, Huda. Her connection with Jeremiah, like, I feel like a lot of people are, like, trying to, like, villainize someone. And that's the thing that's really sad to me when it comes to relationships. How someone needs to point a finger and it's like, that person is the wrong one and that's why everything ended. Why can't it just be they were incompatible? Why can't it just be that they were incompatible? And when you're incompatible, you're gonna bring the worst out of each other because it's not going to work. It's like a puzzle piece and you're shoving it into a piece that it's not supposed to go with. What do? You're gonna keep causing friction. You're gonna break the damn piece. So I feel like the whole discourse on like, oh my god, Jeremiah was so bad or Huda was so bad, they were just not compatible. They were not compatible. Like, yes, they both had faults. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can hold people accountable. They had their faults. Jeremiah and Huda, they jumped in a very quick, like, they made a connection within not even 10 days into being in the villa. They're already talking about being locked in. They're talking about children being outside the villa. They were hooking up in them damn sheets around all these other people. Like, yeah, they moved very, very fast. And I get it. Like, I love when things move fast with someone, but then every time I move fast with someone, I always know that it's like just gonna be temporary. Because when it comes to something really good, you want it to be a slow burn. And that's coming from someone who has a disorganized attachment style. Because I really do feel like I'm more avoidant. But then when there's like the anxious part of me, I feel like the anxious part of me comes out when I really do love bomb. It's like locked in so fast. Like, even that girl I was crashing out about on my couple episodes back, I really feel like she brought the anxious part of me, where like I just felt like we were just jumping in so fast and I was feeling all these emotions so fast. But at the end of the day, I just knew there was never going to be depth behind it. Therefore, there wasn't a slow burn. Because it's gonna be a slow burn when there's depth and you know that there's a lot to like unravel. Like, it's like an onion, you're peeling so many layers. And I feel like that's when you know it's gonna be good and it's gonna be authentic. It's when it's slow burn and you're having a good time with the slow burn. Like, you don't feel anxious, you don't feel like you need to be so fast paced. You're gonna feel like, okay, this is like a process that's healthy and good. And I feel like with Jeremiah and Huda, I feel like they were never going to get to that. Like, I feel like the slow burn, of course, the circumstances make it a little more interesting because they're on this island, they're kissing other people. It's messy. Like, it is messy, but that's the thing. Coming from a girl with the disorganized attachment style, and like they're thinking about the anxious part of me, especially the version of me that was just strictly anxious. Because there was a point in time where like my attachment style was just strictly anxious. Like I said, I saw so much of myself in Huda. Like, that situationship, like the one that I like early in my podcast days, back when my hair was still pink, and I don't even think I cut it yet, but like, yeah, back in my early episodes when I talked about that 9-month situationship, him and I were on that villa and I saw him kissing other people. The crash out I would have had would have been diabolical, because he was the one that brought like the most anxious part of me out. That's because things moved very, very fast and things felt so love bombing. But that is the consequence when things are very quick. It's like the feelings are so strong that like the jealousy is gonna be crazy, like everything. And obviously the circumstances, there's cameras around you, you're barely sleeping, the producers I'm sure stirring shit up. Like, it's just a crazy ass situation. So like, I feel like people judging Huda is crazy until you think about the aspect of like what it's like to be anxious. I really felt for her because I'm like, damn, my crash out would have been crazy if I was in her situation with a guy I deeply liked and it was so fast. I feel like they were just incompatible because of the fact that like he didn't know how to operate on his own, like form his own opinion. I feel like that's the worst. I'm not talking down on Jeremiah because maybe this is just circumstantial. They're on an island, there's cameras around you. Maybe you're afraid to trust your own judgment because like it's just so much. So like I said, I'm trying to be very open-minded here, but I do find that a red flag. I saw that a lot of my ex, and that was my ultimate ick. Like, he couldn't even form his own opinion. He just needed to wait for other people to give an opinion for him to come with the conclusion. Because it's one thing to have your own opinion already and wanting to hear other people out. If that completely alters your opinion and you can't even form your own, that's when I feel like it's cringe. That's when I feel like you're a people pleaser and you can't think for yourself, and that's not going to be sustainable for any type of relationship, especially in the public eye. Like, especially, like, if they were to even get outside the villa and people are, like, are going to say whatever about, like, how would he have acted if they actually made it to the end, you know? That's when I say they were never going to be compatible. That's the thing. Like, I feel like people talking all this shit about Huda saying she had a lot to grow from, which I agree. Trust me, that crash out was crazy. The way she was talking about him or to him was crazy. At the end of the day, he had a lot to grow from as well. And, you know, when it came to Huda, like, the way that she spoke to him, the way that she acted, I don't condone that. Because it's like, girl, at the end of the day, the cameras are rolling and you have a daughter to go home to. When she gets older, you're going to have to explain yourself, you know? I understand. But at the same time, coming from a retired, anxious girly, it's like, I get it. I really do. And I feel like the world hated her. Like they were literally calling CPS on her daughter because they were trying to say that she's unstable and must have been really abusive at home. Like it was, y'all need to get a hobby. Please turn off your phone for a couple hours and get a hobby. Breathe some air, touch some grass. Cause what? Y'all have too much time on your hands. Okay? Like for me, I don't even have that much time on my hands to be even consistent on this podcast, which I need to change. But please, like, oh my God, touch some fucking grass. Get some hobbies. Jesus, like the way that people were like going about acting outside the villa when it came to these islanders, oh my fucking gosh, it was just crazy. Like the amount of hatred that woman was like receiving online would have been so sad when she left the villa. She never ended up leaving the villa, spoiler alert. She continued on, and I really feel like we saw her change and really start to learn from her past mistakes. And I feel like that's why a lot of people started really understanding, like, okay, like she's not like an awful, like shitty person. Like she just had a lot of flaws and a lot of things that needed to be held accountable for, and a lot of reality checks that she needed to come to realization about. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people are respecting the fact that like she took that really bad experience. Okay, each new connection now, I need to like operate differently. I can't be jumping too fast, and I need to really like learn how to slow burn. Because I feel like that's why I became more avoidant, because I started learning how valuable it is to like slow burn. But I think my issue will be like too much of a burn where it's like, okay, bitch, this burn has been going on for too long, or I wouldn't even want the flame to keep going. So I feel like I get it. Like that's how my avoidance side just started coming out. Covering from being a really anxious attachment person, I could understand how hard that is. When all you know is just love bombing, just jumping in so quick. I understand how difficult and uncomfortable that is. So the fact that she was doing that in front of our very eyes and was just trying, I give credit when it's due. Like I really do. And I feel like just seeing her really just keep trying, because there were so many challenges where they were being so mean to her. They were saying she was the most problematic. There was that one challenge where they're like just dumping milk on each other and whatever. It was just like so sad how many people are voting her as the most problematic, like blah 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 blah. And I salute her for that. And I really feel like the world salutes her for that. And that's why she's been receiving so much love. Of course, I feel like when it comes to Huda, you love her or you hate her. Because I feel like a lot of people are not going to forget the crash out. And of course, her behavior and how she's been acting now, where with the whole situation with her and Ace and the heart rate challenge, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. I don't think she was wrong. Even if like there's been so many people speaking out saying that apparently she did too much, and there was a lot of clips that were edited out that we didn't see. I don't care if she fucking took off her underwear and shoved it in his face. It is a fucking challenge. Ace and Shelly were not closed off. They were not closed off. If they were closed off, that's a whole conversation for a whole nother day. Then she would definitely be in the wrong. But she's not. Her partner, like the one that she's, been coupled up with, if he didn't have an issue, then what the fuck is the issue? Because at the end of the day, that is the whole point of this show, is for you to find your partner, try all these challenges. Yeah, the concept of the show is crazy. Like you try all these challenges to test your connections, see them make out with other people. And if you guys still fuck with each other after that, then you guys win 100K and get really famous. It is a crazy concept of the show. Just don't feel like she deserved hate for the heart rate challenge. But like I said, it's a whole nother conversation for another day. And now she's partnered up with Chris. And of course, like I said, it's the anxious part of her where like she's trying new things, and it's like I really feel like she's in a situation where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, where it's like Chris is upset with her because he's like, oh, you don't ever want to kiss me in front of people. Well, she kissed him once and then told her girls about it, and they aired her out on the car challenge. Everyone was dragging her left and right. Like she was being authentically herself, and I feel like for her, she's a little bit different than Amaya, where she does care about what people think. I wish that she had that confidence like Amaya, where it's like, oh my God, if you really just not giving a fuck, because that's the thing, she is so, and you can tell like it's that anxious attachment style where you care so much about what people think, and you want to feel connected to people, and you don't want to be abandoned. So you can tell she really values the friendship over her being selfish and wanting more for herself. Like truly, I don't know if she's the one that created it. I don't know who created it in Love Island, where it's like, oh, being a girl's girl. I feel like there's no such thing as being a girl's girl on Love Island. You guys are making out with each other's partners. How could that even be possible? You gotta be selfish at one point. Because I feel like that's how all the connections started getting messed up this season, because of this girl's girl, or like, girl code, boy code. No. When it comes to Love Island, that does not exist. Like, you have to be selfish. And I feel like for her, she really kept trying to be a girl's girl. And it's like, girl, like, fuck Shelly and whatever she says or whoever. Like, how is Shelly mad that you're exploring your connection with Chris, but she is with Ace? But then you bounce that ass on Ace, and she kept telling Ace, I don't want to be locked in just yet because I want to mess around with Chris. And she mad. Like, what? What? It makes no sense. How you feel about Huda? I feel like a lot of people feel so, like, what's the word? They feel so conflicted about her. It's like, you might hate the actions that she's, portrayed, but at the end of the day, you can't stop watching. Like, she's so talented. There's so many TikToks of her singing. That girl can sing. And obviously, she can shake that ass. Like, she can dance. Like, she can truly dance. She was definitely what's it called? A nighttime ballerina. She definitely was, I don't know if she retired or she was or still is. I don't know, but you can tell she was very much so a nighttime ballerina. And I'm here for it. I'm not shaming that at all. I think that's so cool. And I would love for her to talk about that more one day. Maybe when she gets out the villa. I don't know. But with regards of how you feel about Huda, like, she is so talented, so beautiful. And the fact that she was able to crash out and still, like, try to be better, keep standing up after she was knocked down so many times, I give credit when it's due. And I salute that. Truly, truly, truly. And I feel like that's why Amaya and Huda are the two most loved people on the island, because it's like they both are authentic. And yes, it is such a hard thing to do in the very beginning when you're being authentic. People are going to think you're crazy. People are going to think you're weird. People are going to tell you how you should be because that's what society says you have to be. But when you say, fuck that, now I'm going to be me, the world is it's gonna literally reward you in ways that you can't even wrap your head around. Amaya had Fenty Beauty coming under her pictures. There's so many brands I want to work with Amaya now. And Huda, same thing. Huda Beauty, I wouldn't be surprised if she has a collab with them, because that'd be crazy. Like, they both have so many brands waiting for them outside the villa. And it's all becoming authentic, being authentically yourself, what it does. Where Sierra is a whole different conversation. Like, Sierra's actually such an interesting thing. Like, it was actually really interesting to see in real time how adored she was on the show, and to see her get kicked out, and to see how much people hate her, drag her for her lip filler and everything. It's just crazy. The internet is a crazy place. The way that when it was the heart rate challenge, that's when she was at her peak. Everyone wanted to kiss her. Everyone wanted to be her. Everyone thought she was so hot, so beautiful. So many brands were waiting for her as well outside the villa. But then resurfaced things from her past of her being racist really just knocked her down. And then all the mean girl behavior on the villa. And then on top of that, like, you could just tell she was so calculated. And I always had a bad taste in my mouth when it came to her in the beginnings. I'm like, I don't know. Like, she kept trying to be the cool girl, and I feel like that's very calculated. It's like very, like, I don't know. Like, that's why I feel like when it came to Huda and when it came to Amaya, they were afraid to speak their minds and be like, I'm not going to be the cool girl. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay that you're doing this. I'm not okay with you doing that. That's being authentic. But if all the time you're like, yeah, that's okay, that's cool, like, you're trying to be the cool girl, I feel like it's very, it's not real. Especially being a woman, being a girl, we get jealous. We get very territorial. You could tell she's very territorial over Nick. Her eliminating Hannah, like, Hannah, like, that is so crazy to me, to eliminate someone off the island that was forming genuine connections. And then your argument's gonna be, well, she jumped too fast into a connection, so I had to boot her out. We know that you wanted to knock out the most genuine connections, because then it just meant you and Nick could rise to the top.
And not for nothing, she kept giving up the poom poom, thinking it was going to make Nick like her. However, he liked Alondria more because she wanted to be appreciated for who she is, and not what she can give.
But that's the thing. Authenticity over being calculated and not authentically yourself. Authenticity is always going to win. And that's why Amaya and Huda really started rising to the top. I don't want to sit there and, like, talk down on someone's downfall, because I can't imagine what that's like. Did she deserve to be held accountable? Absolutely. But people calling ice on her family, please touch some grass. Like, please go outside and get some fresh air. Like, where are people's parents? Like, someone unplugged the Wi-Fi. Someone literally cut down their phone service line. Please. Like, what the hell? That is absolutely insane. But yeah, I think that's going to be today's episode of Rant, because I think that's current time. Just like the finalists. And I don't know if by the time this episode is going to be out tomorrow, I don't know. Well, Monday. Yeah, it's going to be out on Monday. And I'm pretty sure they're going to reveal who wins Love Island. If it's Amaya, that'd be so... Amaya or Huda, did I just predict the future? If it is Nick and Alondria, the producers are in on it, because there's no way that many people voted Nick and Alondra over Amaya or Huda or anybody else. If anyone's voting for Iris and Pepe, please explain why. Please explain why. I think that they have chemistry, but I don't think they're compatible long term. Like, people try to romanticize Iris and Pepe is like insane. Insane to me. But I don't know. That's gonna be everything for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry, I'm back, you guys. My sister's dogs, they have such severe separation anxiety. Like, the dogs would just start crashing out big time. And then when my door is closed, like, I feel like they feel like no one's really home with them. So they start crashing out big time. And I did not want y'all think that I'm abusing these dogs, okay? They have separation anxiety. They're completely fine. She's probably only going to be gone for like 10 minutes and they're crashing out like she's gone at war and never coming back. It's crazy. Life updates. So I started working at Hooters, and at first I felt very conflicted about it because it was really cool. Like, it was very cool. Like, I've always wanted to manifest a job where I can use my looks to make money to just like get to the stepping stones of where I want to be in life. And Hooters, like, it was really cool, like how much my parents was getting me places. I literally talked to this guy, like he was just like a single part, like he was just a single party in my section. I got his like stuff, and that's when I'm like, do you need anything? I'm gonna check in on you in a couple minutes, whatever, like in a bit. And he's like, can you just like talk to me and I'll pay you just to talk to me? And y'all, I made $300 just to talk to him. And everyone telling me I should have got his number. A woman should never ask for a man's number. He should have asked for my number, okay? Anywho, yeah, I do miss him though. Because that money was very nice, and he was very rich, like very well established. Maybe I should have asked for his number. I don't know. I really do feel like whatever is meant to come back into my life will cross paths. If not, I'll find someone better with more money. That was like really such a crazy experience, like just like having that happen. And then one of the girls that was working with me in my section allowed it to happen as long as it did, because there were people that were coming in, and I was supposed to sit them down and like take the order and everything. But she was taking them for me because I whispered to her, because she's like, why are you cheesing and sitting with that guy? And I'm like, he's giving me money to talk to him. And she's like, girl, I got you. And I literally gave her a cut. I'm like, bitch, here is like $40. Like, I wanted to give her more, but she was not taking it. I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna staple this to your back. Like, I had to give her money. Like, I'm a girl's girl, okay? I'm like, no, you did not just help make this happen for as long as it did, because he was there. He got there at 10 and we closed at 2, and he like left at 1:30. So Lord knows how, like, if he had left sooner, I probably wouldn't have made as much as I did, because he was sliding me $20 every 5 minutes. So $20 and like adding up to 300, y'all know. It was really, really nice, okay? Like, I'll never forget about him, okay? Even though I forgot his name. Like, it was just like such a crazy experience. But Hooters was nice in the sense where it's like the girls that I work with were so cool, and it was just like nice being able to make that fast type of money. But it was just not good money that I was gonna make more than what I make now in my overnight job, if that makes any sense. Basically, I would have to be working like doubles on the weekends to like basically be off during the week to like even like someone make a good living. My best friend's friend, the one that even hyped me up to even work at Hooters, she was telling me, she was like, oh, I only made so much money during the wintertime because all the girls are basically here during the season in the summer. But when it's like the summer ends, like a lot of girls end up leaving because they're going back to school. A lot of them are not even from here. Like, they traveled from here for the summer and then they go back to wherever. So it's like they end up being very short staffed during the winter time. So she's like, that's where I made a lot of money. But then when it came to the summertime, she's like, you don't make money at all because like we're overstaffed. So it's like so many girls working, so you're not really gonna make a lot when you're only having a certain part of a section. And it's like Hooters, they're not gonna tip you crazy. They're not going to tip you crazy. A lot of people are actually really stingy going there. And that's why I started really feeling this job was humbling. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like the way that I like had so many tables and people are not tipping over like a certain amount. And I'm like, you made me do so much and you're not even tipping me. Someone would even tip you and they'll make you go above and beyond. I'm like, catch me outside. Catch me outside. I think one of the hardest realizations I experienced quitting that job, I only worked there for like a month. I think the realization that I had quitting this job was like, I'm just not built for the 9-to-5 life. And I'm not saying that in a way where I'm lazy or I'm not like driven at all. It's just like every time I work somewhere, I always just get so depressed and just so in my head because I'm like, I don't feel like I fit in. And when I feel like I don't fit in, it's like I always feel like I'm meant to be doing way more with my life. Can anyone else relate with that? Like, I just feel like I'm meant to be doing so much more, and yet I'm like working for someone else. I've always felt like always wanted to be someone who works for myself. Like, I want to be the one who, calls the shots of like whenever. Like, I don't want to work for someone else, and like wherever you work at, they don't even view their employees as people. They can replace you easily. Always loved the idea. Like, the moment I started making money on TikTok was one of my greatest accomplishments, because I'm like, wow, like I'm making money doing what I love. And that's like a big like, I feel like for the longest time I was always manifesting a job where it can help me get to the next level, but I really started having to ask myself, where I'm like, my full like desire is to make this my livelihood. Why can't I just manifest that? Like, why can't I just manifest me doing this full time and making a living out of it and enjoying my life and myself, having fun creating whatever, having cool experiences with like brands, interviewing really cool people? Like, I would love that. Like, why do I keep manifesting jobs? And then I would get the manifestation, I would manifest the job, but then I would be so miserable. It would make no sense to me. It's the really hardest thing I had to battle with, because I'm like, damn, that means I had to really, really lock in. And it's so weird because they don't talk about this enough when it comes to manifestation. Ever since I made that intention where I'm like, I need to start locking in, I need to start taking myself more seriously and stop letting fear get in the way. Where I'm like, okay, for the longest time, like, I just felt like I was always just doing the bare minimum instead of like putting all of my eggs in one basket and really just saying fuck it to my dream. And just like a lot of things, like, for example, I really feel like for the longest time, for the past like 2-3 years, I've been going to the gym. I never was really intentional. I wanted to lose weight and look good, but I'm like, okay, if I really want more toned, like, I want my arms to be more toned, I want my belly to be more toned, I literally lost my ass, y'all. I lost so much weight that I'm like, I don't even have an ass anymore. I had to be more intentional. I started really realizing, the more I started becoming intentional with the gym this past like 2 weeks, I started really realizing how I was never intentional with the gym at all for a very long time. Same thing for my TikToks. For a long time, I just wanted to create a little short conversation and wanted it to go viral, make some money, and that's that. But I'm like, I'm not even being intentional with the brand that I'm trying to create for myself. Because that's one thing I started asking myself, like, what audience do I want to reach? Like, what brands do I really feel like is on brand for me to work with? Those are questions that, like, I feel like you should ask yourself when you start taking things more seriously. And I started really realizing how much I didn't take myself serious. And not for nothing, y'all, the whole like tantrum I threw earlier about my bangs, that's another thing too. When I started really taking myself serious, I started realizing how a lot of insecurities started coming out. I literally just started taking vitamins again, because my like anxiety and like the way that I've been viewing myself lately has been so weird. Because y'all know I'm confident. Y'all know I will not be sitting here calling myself ugly, but I feel like the past couple weeks I've been feeling ugly. And not for nothing, not gonna lie, my hairstylist kind of did me dirty, because I really wanted more like red tones in my hair, but I still wanted the brown in my hair was like mega red, and I didn't feel confident with the color. I added more orange in my hair, so I feel a little bit more confident, and I did just get a tan. But I feel like it couldn't just be the hair. I was trying to blame the hair for a while. I'm like, maybe the hair is making me feel some type of way, but it's just not. Like, I just feel like it's the internal issues that I'm finally addressing, because I'm being more intentional with myself. Where I'm like, okay, I don't feel like I'm intentional when it comes to my appearance enough, because it's like, what do I want as my signature look that people will know that is Ali Karza or Bad Bleed? Who's gonna like, no, that's her when it comes to my makeup looks, when it comes to my aesthetic? Like, I really want to be more intentional, like what feels like me. I feel like for the longest time I was just like passing by, not actually being intentional and living. It's one thing I've been really battling with myself. Another thing too, I literally filmed a whole episode on my birthday, and I was supposed to have an episode way sooner for you guys, but I deleted it because I didn't feel beautiful. Like, I did not even like how I looked in that episode, and it's so crazy. I hate talking about when I don't feel good about myself, because I don't ever want that weaponized towards me, where it's like, oh, she has insecurities, we know how to pull her and make her feel bad about herself. No, first of all, anybody watching this could tell me I look beautiful, and it won't even shape how I feel or view myself if I don't feel beautiful. Just like if you call me ugly right now and I already feel ugly, you can't contribute to how I already felt. I just go off of how I view myself when it comes to my appearance, and I haven't been really feeling like the bad bitch that I know that I am. But I just think it's because I've been more intentional. My sister's dogs are crashing out because she's probably just getting here. Anyways, that should be my cue to end this episode. I love you guys so much. This was just basically the life updates that I've been having, where I left tutors. I'm going to be more intentional with what I want to do for myself. And I'm like debating, does that mean being more full-time with I would love to make money off this podcast. Not just because I operate off of money, because y'all know I never made a single penny off of this podcast whatsoever. It's just something I love doing. Even if I get one view, I'm happy. Like, this podcast has always been my baby. It's always been a goal of mine to make money. And like, obviously, because I want to live and it's really cool to make money off of things that you love. But that's not what I'm driven by. I could be demonetized forever, but if it just meant that I got to keep the community I'm building with people, then it meant that like I'm serving my purpose, you know. I think for TikTok, like the money is nice, but then it's like I was not making money for years on TikTok until I did. Like, I'm not driven by money whatsoever. It just would be nice because rent is due, you know. But I love you guys so much. And if you're watching this on Spotify, make sure to give it a 5 stars rating. And if you are watching this on the YouTube podcast channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about Love Island. How do you feel about Huda and Amaya? Who are your favorites? Who do you think is gonna win? By the time this comes out, we're gonna know. But like, yeah, comment down below who you thought was gonna win, and if they didn't, yeah, let's talk in the comment section, okay? The engagement's been low, okay? Even though I haven't been posting. But I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next podcast episode. Bye-bye.